Yo, so we know about the Chris Kaba saga. Yeah, he got shot by the police dead 4 years ago, like 2022, and his family have been trying to seek justice, saying that the officer didn't follow the right procedures, shot him in the head while he was trying to escape armed police. Now, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, well, he shouldn't have drove off," but it's not about that. Whether he should have drove off, we've seen. I'm going to give you an example of like why I feel like they didn't follow procedure, because a lot of people have tried to get off here and it hasn't resulted in that same kind of way. You get what I'm saying? I get that the police wanted to speak to him. He was a suspect in a shooting. Yeah, at least let him be alive to be held accountable for what he done. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying they didn't have to shoot him. Yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying my man was an angel or rare, none of that. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying they didn't have to handle it that way. You know what I'm saying? And the police officer now, for all these years, it's kind of been a process where we thought he was gonna get charged. Then we found out that he weren't. Then they said they're gonna get postpone it to some new rules coming, and then go about it then and see how it goes. And now they're just basically saying the charges have been dropped against this officer, and I just don't think. I'm going to show you a similar situation to the Chris Kaba situation where they didn't shoot this guy and he was actually probably moving worse than Chris. So that's all. My whole point of this video is, because I know I'm gonna have some comments, my whole point of this video is you could have handled it better and you didn't have to kill him. But yeah, he was a suspect in a shooting. Yeah, you like wanted to get him, arrest him, or do whatever you want. You should have let him at least live to be held accountable for whatever he did or he allegedly did. This is what I'm saying. You get me? This is the situation. Let me just get into this first. This is the situation why the police wanted to speak to him in the whole first place. Yeah, let me move this thing down. Something happened in the club. Yeah, something happened in a club. Yeah, where they're saying Itch is the one in the blue. Yeah, and his post of that's his nickname. Chris Carver's nickname is Itch. He's from 6'7", and he's in the blue. They're saying he shot someone in the club or shot at someone. I don't know, because that guy ran off here. I don't know if the guy got shot and ran off or he missed him. You know what I'm saying? But they're saying, yeah, look, there's a video. This is the whole reason why the police wanted to talk to him in the first place. You get me? Look, we see that's him there with the arrow on him. This is after the club as well. See him running down the street and that. See, look, and his post of sitting chain. So they're saying that's him. I can't fully see that's him, but they're saying that's him. That's the whole reason why the police moved to him in the first place, to arrest him. You get me? So he probably would have got remanded or got charged with some crime, with some shooting. You know what I'm saying? And they must have got at him anyway. They must have got at him. And this is the situation. That was following his car and whatnot. Yeah. Let me move this back up. They was following his car and whatnot. They came to arrest him, and he tried to get off when the police tried to arrest him.
Doors! Oh, police! Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
So we tried to drive off. You get me? He tried to drive off. He's clearly trying to get away. Now, people are going to say, yo, he should have just cooperated. I hear that still. But there's procedures where you could have shot out his tires. You could have done a lot of things. You didn't have, and shot him straight in the head. He got shot straight in the head, you know, watch. Obviously, you ain't going to see it on him.
Shots fired! Where from? On the front! Doors!
This is just another angle of it. Obviously, it ain't fully graphic. You get me? I wouldn't want it to be fully graphic. That's what happened, innit? That's what happened. He's been cleared of shooting murder of Chris Kaba. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what happened, the officers. But like I said, man, I'll show you another clip here, yeah. This one looks worse to me. This is some next guy, yeah. This is some next guy, armed police come for him. Look, he's leaving the gym now. See him jump. This is the guy here. You see him jump into his golf. He does more of a mad thing, and the police only shoot out his tires. So they could have shot out Chris Kaba's tires. They shot him straight in the head, executed him. Look, this is the gun police blocking my man. And look, they're at him now. Look at that. He's reversed. Then he drives forward. Look, he could have hit the police. Look, the officer had to move out the way. Look, he drives through, driving. Look at this. We ain't seeing this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He's still trying to reverse. He could have hit the officers. Look at this. These officers have not shot the car. Look at that. He's knocking cars out the way. Them lot are just shooting his tires. Look at this. This was longer than what happened to Chris Kaba. This guy, the police officers was taking so long with this guy, he probably could have got away. Look at him. He's ramming any and everything to get away. Look at him. Do you know what I'm saying? The police in the end get him, but he was doing way more dangerous stuff, going forward and backwards, nearly hitting the officers and everything. These officers did not shoot this guy. All they did was shoot out the tires. Now, obviously, this was in Coventry. These police here, yeah, handled it way more better than these Met police. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? The driver of that car there, I'm just gonna call it how it is. The driver of this car is white. Chris Kaba was a black man. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, are we gonna pull it down to racism, or are we gonna pull it down to the Met police and the Coventry police? The Coventry police dealt with it in a better way than the Met police. Some are going to call it racism. Some are going to call it that these officers, you just got better trained officers. But this situation here was way worse than Chris Kaba's situation. And this guy come out alive. This guy come out alive. And they did not shoot at him once. Chris Kaba got shot in his head. This guy, they shot out his tires. That's all they did. And this was on for way longer. The Chris Kaba situation was about a minute, if that, a minute and a half. This was look at this. Look at this. We're gonna watch it again. Look at this. Look how long the guy's reversing. Look at him. He's trying to get out. Look at this. Look, they're driving through, knocking cars off. Yo, an officer could have got way more hurt in this situation than in the Chris Kaba situation. You know what I'm saying? So which one warrants getting shot in their head more? None of them, let me just say this, none of them warrant getting shot in their head. But if one of them warrants getting shot in their head, which one? This situation, or a man who just went forward and backwards? This guy ran Pierre cars, went back and forth and everything. So this is why I'm saying it's fucked up what the police done to Chris. Because this situation here was way worse and the police handled it way better. You get me? I leave you lot to speak about that. But yeah, so look. And today now, the saga's over because it's been going on for like 4 years. Been 4 years, but today, they just let you know that no charges, no misconduct case for officer who shot Chris Kaba. Like, it's over now. You know what I'm saying? The Met police officer who shot Chris Kaba will not face misconduct proceedings. You get me? Sergeant Martin Blake shot the 24-year-old in Streatham, London in 2022 after Kaba tried to ram his way past police cars. We just seen that other video. This guy tried to ram the police officers' cars, everything. You get me? Blake was cleared of murder following a trial in 2024. So he was cleared of murder 2 years ago, but they still was going to give him some misconduct charges, and he ain't even getting that now. So he's beat a murder charge and he's beat a misconduct charge. So we'll just be back in the force probably tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? A decision was made in January to pause any proceedings involving Blake until a law change relating to the use of force in misconduct cases was introduced and its impact was clear, the IOPC said. So they stored out this case with this officer because some new rules was coming out that would be even more lenient for him. So if they didn't wait for these rules, he probably would have got charged with misconduct. But they waited for the police. Obviously, they're gonna look out for their own, innit? They're gonna look out for their own. They said, "Yo, we're gonna chill with these proceedings right now and wait till these new laws. And these new laws is gonna help this officer even more." And that's what happened. You get me? Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley said the IOPC's decision brought an end to almost 4 years of uncertainty for Blake, calling the accountability process for police officers disgraceful. So these officers are upset that these police have that the proceedings have took this long for this officer to get the all clear, while his family is fighting for justice. The police officers are saying, "Yo, listen, you lot should have sorted this ages ago." Because remember, police was ready to go on strike for this officer, If this officer would have got charged with murder, the rest of them armed police, they was going to go on strike for this, You know what I'm saying? They was fighting for justice for their brethren who shot Chris Kaba, while the family's fighting for justice against the officer who shot their son, their family member. Madness. Commissioner Mark Rowley, well, in June, the use of force test in such cases changed from the civil law test to criminal law test, meaning actions that did not amount to a crime should not amount to misconduct either. So remember, that basically actions that did not amount to a crime should not So they're saying because the officer didn't get charged with the murder, he shouldn't be charged with misconduct either. And this is the new rules. You know what I'm saying? So under the old rules, the officer could have got could have got done for misconduct, even if he didn't get done for murder. But they said, no, let's wait for these new rules. And the new rules came and just helped the officer. So, you know what I'm saying? It's all crooked at the end of the day. It's all crooked. And you know what I'm saying? They're going to look out for their own. I get it. And the family's going to want justice. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people are going to say, yo, Chris shouldn't have even tried to get away in the first place. I'm just taught. My whole point in this video is let's just have equal justice. And that's all, equal. Just treat everyone equal. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, yo, he did. Obviously, so a crime happened, the shooting in the club that you lot are saying he done. Obviously, you need to go and question him, and you're not gonna go and question him with normal police. You're gonna go and question him with armed police. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. But he should be alive to face his consequences and be held accountable for whatever you lot are saying he did, for what he was alleged to have done. You know what I'm saying? Referring to Blake by his side for NX121, Rowley said, today's decision finally brings to an end almost 4 years of uncertainty for NX121, his family, and the wider firearms command, with all the considerable worry and stress that he has brought. So they're talking about this officer being under worry and stress for 4 years because he didn't know what was going to happen to him. But the family are grieving. The family are grieving someone for 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about the family? What about his mom? What about all them lot? You know what I'm saying? You never know. This officer who shot Chris Kaba now might resign and try and claim damages from the force, saying, yo, you lot had me on hold in limbo for 4 years. It stressed me out. I can't go back to work. I want to claim compo. This officer's probably going to claim compo for being stressed out, for unaliving this brother. It's mad. You know what I'm saying? We also recognize the profound impact on Chris Kaba's family, who continue to grieve the loss. You know what I'm saying? It's mad, man. You know what I'm saying? It's mad. And then they're saying, yo, since NX121's unanimous acquittal by the Old Bailey jury, and in the absence of any evidence that he failed in his duties, we have been clear and consistent in our view that he should not face a misconduct hearing. So they're saying he didn't do nothing wrong, shooting my man in the head. The commissioner said the decision must be a milestone moment to reset the police accountability system. No officer is above the law, but we have been clear the system holding police to account is broken, he said. Your life being on hold for 4 years or more as you go through multiple accountability processes is a disgraceful way to treat brave men and women. I also see the profound effect these cases routinely have on officers' families. So there, I get what the only thing I say about this is it took 4 years. Like, this should have been dealt with in a year. Then all right, then if you're not going to charge the officer, it should have been dealt. This whole thing should have just been dealt with in a year. It's took 4 years. So this officer saying that he's stressed out, him, his family. He's not even saying, yo, I have nightmares about killing someone, or yo, I swear down, I won't be surprised if this officer resigns from the force and claims he's stressed out and got PTSD or whatever kind of stuff and tries to get some money out of this situation. You get me? But yeah, man, I'm not going to go through all of it. The bottom line is, yeah, the officer is not going to face no charges. Chris Kaba's family is not going to get no justice. And, you know, I just felt like they could have dealt with it in a better way. You know what I'm saying? I get that you lot wanted to arrest him or question him on suspicion of whatever he done. Because I'm not saying he was no angel or nothing like that. I'm not saying he weren't involved in no street shit or not. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying you lot didn't have to unalive him. You get me? But let me know what you lot think about this whole situation though, man. If you're watching, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, leave a comment below.
You know, I was always a hustler. So when I talk to a young dude, I'm like, bro, my advice to you is going to be money advice. I ain't going to get philosophical, get religious advice. Bro, get you some money, you're going to feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this is the short version. You know, get you a couple dollars, man. You're going to feel different.